Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. First of all, I apologize if my voice sounds super echoey. It's really late, so I can't record in my bedroom like I normally would. So I'm recording in a shoe cupboard, and I'm honestly feeling like Harry Potter right now. So apologies if there is a bit of an echo, but it's 3 AM here, and I just need to talk to you guys about the latest Pokemon games. Not Pokemon Quest, which was another Pokemon game announced. I'll probably make a video on that another time, but this is obviously Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. The rumours were true. There is so much to break down from this trailer. I can't use footage really. I'm going to use screenshots, so technically I can use footage, but I can't use video footage because it'll get taken down by Nintendo. So I'm going to leave a link to the trailer if you haven't seen it, but this is more of a video of what you might have missed, or maybe basically just a breakdown of everything. And there's a lot to do. I always do this for every new game. You guys always seem to enjoy them, so let's just get straight into this. So first of all, the games are of course set in Kanto like we'd expect. It is a Pokemon Yellow reboot. I'll say reboot. Yeah, I think that's the correct term, not remake. It's definitely a reboot. It's got a different art style to it, as you guys can tell. It's kind of similar to Pokemon X and Y's in a way, with the smaller character designs. Definitely looks a bit more child friendly. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The game looks really, really nice. It's got full HD graphics. As you guys will see throughout this trailer, it looks super, super clean compared to the pixelated Pokemon X and Y and Pokemon Sun and Moon. I mean, they weren't too pixelated, but they weren't as HD as this, that's for sure. You can encounter Pokemon in the grass as usual. Now, it's interesting that I mention that because you'll see that encountering Pokemon in the grass isn't the only way to encounter Pokemon. There also seems to be a gym symbol in this town. If you guys see it at the top left, I'm probably zooming in on it, but that's the normal gym symbol we've seen, I think, from Generation 5 onwards, I'm pretty sure, for the gym. I can't see the gym building though, so that's the only thing. But I'm assuming gyms will return. It's, you know, it's set in Kanto, so there should be gyms. This looks like Viridian Forest, this forest we see here. I mean, that's the only forest that comes to mind for me when playing Pokemon Yellow, and it's super early on, so that has to be it, surely. Also, you can see Eevee sitting on the trainer's head, which is interesting because in the old Lapras leak screenshot, which didn't even look that great, Eevee is sitting on a trainer's head, so it looks like somehow that leaked screenshot was true. Did not expect that at all, but that was really interesting to see that. As you guys can see, Professor Oak returns. Of course, it's set in Kanto, and I'm not sure what his purpose is, whether he gives you starters or not. I think he probably does give you the Pikachu and Eevee by the looks of it, because it seems to be in his lab. So there was some rumours about you get to pick the Kanto starters as well as your Pikachu or Eevee, but that doesn't seem to be the case, unless, I mean, that might be the case, but they've not shown it to be that way. Next up, in terms of playing the game, you can play the game with one Joy-Con only, so which is pretty crazy. So I guess just moving around. And I mean, Pokemon isn't the most complicated control game, but I just found that interesting that you can use one Joy-Con to move around. And it's interesting as well because with a spare Joy-Con, you can actually do co-op play, which we'll be getting into later, but that looks insane. I freaked out big time when I saw that. It also doesn't look like you battle wild Pokemon, so if we look at this wild Pokemon encounter, there's no option to fight. You use your Joy-Con to throw the Pokeball at the screen, which is, I guess, cool. It's like Pokemon Go, very, very similar to Pokemon Go. In fact, it's basically Pokemon Go. It's got the rings around the Pokemon like you'd expect from Pokemon Go. And the options when you're against a wild Pokemon are Get Ready, which probably means to throw the Pokeball. There's items, which could be like berries from Pokemon Go, like raspberries to make it easier to catch. Pineapple berries give more candy. I don't think candy will be returning from Pokemon Go into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but you never know, could be. There's also help for how to catch the Pokemon, which I'm assuming is just like throw the Joy-Con and this is how you throw it, and like stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's help from other trainers or not. I really, really doubt that. And of course, run away if you run out of Pokeballs. Not sure if the Pokemon can run away like Pokemon Go. I really doubt it, but it's not confirmed yet, so I can't say it's definite that they don't run away, but there doesn't seem to be any footage of that. Now, there's a Pokeball count as well at the bottom of the screen that was kind of hidden away in the screenshot because the Joy-Con was in front of it. So you basically know how many Pokeballs you have left, and obviously when you run out, you can't catch a Pokemon anymore. I've heard rumours that the Pokeballs will be cheaper because obviously if you miss the Pokemon, then obviously you've got to throw more at them. I'm assuming you can miss the Pokemon. They didn't really show any Pokeballs missing in this game, but who knows? We don't really know that for sure, but if it's anything like Pokemon Go, you can probably miss with Pokeballs. Now, like Pokemon Go, depending on where you hit the ring with the Pokeball, it'll give out a nice, like a nice throw, and you know that's exactly like Pokemon Go. There's also footage of a great throw and an excellent throw later on in the video, so that's basically the same. I have no idea what the benefits are because obviously in Pokemon Go it's all XP based. So maybe it just helps catch the Pokemon. If you get the better your throw is, the more likely you catch that Pokemon in these games. Not sure yet, but that's something I'm really interested in. And as I mentioned earlier, there is co-op play. We couldn't believe this. We're in a group Discord call with lots of other Poketubers, and we were freaking out about this. It's a brand new thing for Pokemon. I don't think it's really ever been done. And yeah, it just looks insane. I couldn't believe it. I was just freaking out. Now, in terms of co-op, you shake the Joy-Con to add another player by the looks of it. That's at least one way to do it. And there's a green symbol in the bottom right which indicates when co-op is engaged. Unsure if there is online play, but seems to be only local for now. Wild Pokemon can appear in the overworld as well, and to battle them, you just walk into them, which is kind of similar to other like RPGs, I guess really old RPGs. You just walk into, you know, the wild or the enemy or whatever you want to call it, but in this case, wild Pokemon. And that's really interesting. That's something new. And there's an interesting hole in the wall in the cave, which kind of reminds me of the secret bases from Omega Ruby, or just even original Ruby and Sapphire. So I doubt secret bases are returning, or maybe that's just something aesthetically like for the cave. But I don't know. That could be something that, you know, that's more than meets the eye, really. So I'm curious to see if that's actually something. Both players can encounter the same Pokemon when playing in co-op mode and catch it together, so they both get to keep the Pokemon. It's not like one Pokemon is shared between two. I think it's more likely that you get the Pokemon each instead of sharing the Pokemon between two. Now, interesting, it says the Clefairy is level 10, like, you know, it would in any Pokemon game, but it says it has 60 CP, and if you guys don't know what CP is, it's combat power from Pokemon Go, which is basically the strength of the Pokemon. So I'm wondering if CP plays a part in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, or is that the value of the Clefairy if transferred to Pokemon Go? Because yes, you can transfer Pokemon to Pokemon Go, and you can also transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which we'll talk about a little later. Now, co-op play here, there's an image of it, and it looks to be on Nugget Bridge, which is an iconic place in the Kanto region. There are also co-op trainer battles, so if it wasn't unfair already, you can team up with a buddy and absolutely destroy trainers. This Bugcatcher absolutely had no chance, and for those who were worried that the battle system was going to change, it mostly looks the same as far as I can tell, with levels and genders being present. But the only thing I don't see is an XP bar, so your experience and how to level up. I'm wondering if leveling up is the same, because I just don't see it. But maybe it's not visible on the screen either with co-op, or it's just not a thing on screen. Maybe it's just something you have to check in your party. I'm not sure. That's interesting. So we'll have to wait and see if XP is, you know, like the old Pokemon games, or is it a new way to level up your Pokemon? There's also a new Pokemon accessory, and this is the Pokeball Plus. It lets you catch Pokemon like the Joy-Con, so you swing the Pokeball in your hand, but it feels like you're throwing a Pokeball, which is absolutely genius. It lights up, and not only does it light up, it matches the light in the game, so it's synchronized. So when the light's flashing on the Pokeball in the game, it's doing the exact same thing in your hand, and I'm assuming it vibrates, because let's be honest, that's kind of the feeling you get when you see someone catch a Pokeball. It's, you know, moving around. It honestly looks really cool. I can imagine these things are going to sell out very, very quick. So if there's a pre-order for them, make sure you get them quick, because the Pokemon Go Plus wristband thing for the Pokemon Go game, that sold out stupidly quickly. So I'm sure this is going to be the same. Now, interestingly, wild Pokemon seem to be visible outside of grass as well as footpaths, and you can battle these Pokemon. You don't have to go into the tall grass to find wild Pokemon. You can just battle them if they're walking around, which is pretty interesting. I thought that might be just for the cave, because obviously there's no grass, but obviously not the case. And there's also the first look at the Pokedex here. Again, looks mainly like the Pokedex we've seen before, but it's really full screen. It looks quite clean, so that's interesting for sure. And there's also options on the Pokedex that say language select and check motion. I'm assuming, obviously, language select is pretty straightforward. You just change the language to something, you know, just another language, basically. And check motion is probably the animation the Pokemon does, you know. So, like, for example, if you went on past Pokemon games, especially on the 3DS, if you touch that Pokemon, they make an animation when they're in your party. I mean, if you go to your party and you touch your Pokemon, it'll do an animation, so I'm assuming that is the same. There's also a look at a menu which says you can either save the game or take your Pokemon out for a stroll, which means Pokemon follow you again, which is absolutely fantastic, which is something we've wanted for a long time, since Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And to no surprise, like I said earlier, you can connect with Pokemon Go, and you can send your Pokemon from Pokemon Go to a new feature called Go Park. Now, Go Park is basically bringing your Pokemon from Pokemon Go to the Nintendo Switch, to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, to like a little area. I'm not sure what this area is, there's not much detail on it. And as I said earlier, you can send Pokemon from the Switch to Pokemon Go, or you can send something from the Switch to Pokemon Go. In fact, it's a present, and it says at the end of the video it's a certain Pokemon, but they don't reveal it. So I'm assuming it's going to be like a Mew or Celebi, something interesting like that. You can ride Onix and Lapras and Charizard. So basically, a rumor was going around that the Poké Ride from Sun and Moon would basically return, and it looks to be that is the case. HMs are not in the game, which I'm actually happy about, because HMs are a bit outdated for Pokemon games nowadays. You can see Pokemon following the trainers in co-op mode, and not only that, you can also see Pikachu is out for one of the trainers. So he's got 2 Pokemon out, including the Pikachu, and I'm assuming that can be the case with Eevee. So to have Nidoking and Nidoqueen, and obviously the Pikachu out. I couldn't see the Eevee, but Eevee might be there. Pikachu was also wearing a hat, which we will get into very shortly. There's more footage of Pokemon following you, like Gengar and Electrode, and by the way, these like animations for these Pokemon were found back in 2016 for Sun and Moon's files, so it's no surprise that Game Freak could be working on this for a long time for sure. There's also footage of a wild Snorlax. Nothing particular interesting about this, but I know a lot of people are big fans of Snorlax, so I wanted to include that in there. There's Ultra Balls in the game, as you might expect. We'd only seen Pokeballs up to this point in the trailer, so I just wanted to make that clear that there's more than just Pokeballs in this game. You can pet your Pokemon like you could from Pokemon Ami from X and Y, and Pokemon Refresh from Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's not a feature I really use too much, but I know a lot of fans probably did use that more than me, so that's fine that it's included. There are costumes for Pikachu and Eevee. This was almost as big as co-op for me. This was awesome. Obviously, you guys know I love Eevee as my mascot. I really want a snapback for it, and it's kind of something that's similar, so I'll be rocking that for sure. Also, Team Rocket returns, and interestingly, you can see Pikachu wearing the costume in battle, and the same goes for Eevee. That's really, really cool. A nice touch for sure. There's also footage of Magikarp in space, which is either being seismic tossed by a Pokemon, or potentially a new animation for Splash, which I honestly doubt. Also, interesting how the Earth is just one big continent. I'm not sure Pokemon theorists want to get working on that, but that's an interesting thing for sure. It's probably just, like a placeholder Earth. It might not have too much significance, but it's interesting. Mewtwo appears like you'd expect in a Pokemon Yellow reboot. There's also nice HD shots of the game, which you guys might want to look at. And also, there are logos for the game. And the games are available November the 16th, 2018. I'm not sure if it's a worldwide release, it didn't say so. But the Switch is region free, unlike the 3DS, so it shouldn't matter too much. There's also box art of the Pokeball Plus, as well as box art of the games, and they look amazing. I love the art style for this. It kind of reminds me of like some Pokemon trading cards. They look really nice, and that's pretty much it for the whole trailer. I'm also going to be working on lots of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee videos over the next coming weeks and probably months, when we get new information. It's a very different type of Pokemon game, and I've got a few questions about it that I'll bring up in another video because I don't want to run this one too long. But guys, let me know in the comments what you think about these games. Are you excited? Are you disappointed? I really want to know if you can get more than just Generation 1 Pokemon. And especially since you can send Pokemon over from Pokemon Go, and obviously there's up to Generation 3 for now, I'm wondering if you can transfer Generation 3 Pokemon straight away from Pokemon Go. And is this a game like Pokemon Go that will be updated, for years to come? We'll have to wait and see. But guys, if you enjoyed this trailer breakdown and analysis video, I got this out super quick. It's almost 4 AM, guys. Make sure to leave it a like. I'd super appreciate it. And if you want to stay up to date with everything Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!